All right. Good morning, everybody. We're gonna be towing this BMW. It's needing to get the instrument cluster programs. I don't know what was done to it, but it's got a whole bunch of dash lights on it. Runs and drives, but it's got a whole bunch of lights on. All the sensors and everything ain't jiving, so we are going to haul this thing over to Momentum BMW. But if you notice, we're picking this thing up from the front because this particular one is X-Drive, which means it's all-wheel drive. So we're gonna have to dolly it. So, got my wheel lift down, camera turned on. I do need to get my boom picked up a little bit. We're gonna back under this thing, get the front end scooped. Alright, camera is on. Y'all can see camera. I think I need to come up and over just a little bit here. Try to be pretty centered on this thing. I think that'll be pretty good there. Good thing about this one, at least, is it's not super low to the ground. At least it's pretty much stock ride height. And I'm still not quite centered on it. That'd be alright. Bring that up like that. Out a little bit. Goes in. Wheel lift is even. I'm gonna come up on this just a little bit so the car can't roll away on us when we get it up on the dollies. And as we come up with the back, the front end's gonna come down. I don't want the bumper to get into the wheel lift. All right. Now the fun part. We get to dolly this thing. Dolly pulls down here. Well, thinking about it, I'm gonna get the strap on this side here. They're dragging a chain on their trailer. There's one of my buddies who's actually riding that same bike on that Amazon van winch out we did a while back. Towed a bunch of his trucks. Enjoying this warm weather we're having. It was pretty chilly this morning when I got up. I say pretty chilly, it was like in the 50s, but it's like 100% humidity. But the sun has since come up and it's now pretty warm. So I'm kind of regretting having this hoodie on. Probably going to be taking that off pretty quick, like. So I'm already sweating and I ain't even started working yet. And we'll say second to last click. Beamers are pretty wide. It's actually pretty close to being even. I could probably go in one more click. Go. Let's see how that looks. The closer you have the axles in, the better it carries weight. Even though these things aren't particularly heavy, there's no sense in putting any more wear and tear on stuff we ain't got to. Come on. So, bring that down to the third click. Alright. Now, we get to pull the dollies off there. We're going to turn this camera off. No use in killing its battery. So we don't need that one anymore. And we got to haul it all the way to Houston. It's a Momentum BMW. I like how that caught. Yeah. Set that down there. Set you over here. All right. Get the rear axle in the rear slot. And probably middle slot there. It's kind of squared up. Get those unlocked. Get our tires out of the way. Rear one in the rear slot. And that's one in the middle. Okay. Cam this first one over. There goes J&M. There we go. Get this one cranked over. Last one. Generally the hardest one to get. Thankfully, these little cars aren't too terribly heavy. Okay. See how low the front end came now? We need to raise that back up now that the back end's up on dollies. I'm gonna finish strapping this thing down real quick, get it ready to go. Then we're gonna get on the road and get this thing to the dealership. So I'm sure there's an anxious customer waiting to have their BMW back. We finished throwing these straps on real quick and we're good to go. All right, we're headed to Houston. We got loaded up and everything. So this one required dollies. I didn't just dolly this one because it was lowered or anything, or not lowered, but lower. And this one was actually all-wheel drive. This one actually required dollies. Kind of made me think, like, literally last night, excuse me, last night I got a call from a roadside assistance company to tow a Dodge Challenger, and they called. I gave them a price. They were like, all right, we're gonna get this approved and we'll call you back. They called back and they're like, hey, the customer is requesting a flatbed. Do you have a flatbed? I was like, I don't have a flatbed, but I have a wheel lift and dollies, just as good as a flatbed, especially for that. It's actually better. So, you know, so I can still do it, and get the customer taken care of. You know, they're like, okay, let us call and see, and we'll call you back. Never heard back from them. So I'm assuming the customer just refused to have anything other than a flatbed, which happens quite often. People just, they think they need a flatbed. They just can't understand that a wrecker and dollies is just as good, if not better in some cases, than a flatbed. So I have a buddy of mine, the Porsche that I towed a while back. He said, say, whenever I picked his up and he saw how the dollies worked, he was like, I don't ever want a flatbed to tow my car again. I only want wheelets and dollies, because it literally just goes straight up in there and straight back down. Like it's not, coming up a ramp. We don't have to stack up a bunch of wood boards or anything crazy like that to get it to not drag. You don't have a bridle up underneath your bumper, pulling up on your bumper. Just literally, the car gets picked up and it gets set right back down. It's easy, A little bit more work probably, like actual physical work, but as far as the towing side of it, it's just as safe. It's up off the ground. The wheels and tires aren't rolling at all. It's all just as easy, So anyway, just kind of always find it funny that customers think their car has to have a flatbed, like there's no other options, and there actually are other options, and in many cases better options, So it's just kind of how it is. That's unfortunately one of the downsides to the towing industry, is the consumers, even though they've generally never done your job think they know how to do your job better than you do. You know? Kind of one of those things. I don't know. I'd say something that happens all the time. They think they have to put their car in neutral for you, where it's like, you're in a wheel lift, you don't need it in neutral. You're going to be wheel lifting it. If you do it right, you're lifting the drive axle anyway, or you're throwing it on dollies. You don't have to have it in neutral. Even if you're in a flatbed, you go throw it in neutral, and then the thing rolls downhill on you or something, you know, or like, oh, but you know, what are you gonna do? It's kind of how it is in this industry. But anyways, we're still on our way to Houston. We're coming into like the Manville area right now, so we're gonna be pulling up there here shortly. Right, so we have made it to the Momentum BMW dealership up here in Houston. We're going to get the dollies broke down. I pulled off to the side here to unload it because there's no traffic really comes through this section of the road. So it's just like a locked gate up ahead of us and then this parking lot. But I didn't feel like pulling into that parking lot. I wasn't sure if I would be able to loop around. So we just stopped here because there's no traffic here anyways. And then we can just drive this thing over there to the service. To the service drive over there. My boards are messed up. I need to come up with a better place to store all my boards. Even with this truck having the tunnel boxes, it's fairly limited on its storage, unfortunately. One thing I did not really think about, since coming through this puddle, it means I gotta pick up a bunch of wet dollies now. We're done with our dolly pole, so I'm gonna put it back up so we can't forget it. I didn't take this strap off. That before I forget. I already got the other side off before I started the camera. I forgot to get this one. Should be everything here. Get that dolly up there. Yeah. I always get comments. Everybody's like, you should get the self-loading dolly mounts like Casey has. And I agree. I would love a set. This truck actually came with a set on them. On this truck whenever I got it. But it also came with a set of old Collins dollies. Not the in the ditch dollies. And they were broke. I could have, a couple parts would have rebuilt them, but it's like the end of one of the little hydraulic assist rams. But it would not have worked for these dollies, and I would not have trusted those dollies. Not only that, they were the old steel axles that are insanely heavy. And not wide enough to tow any modern vehicle, really. All right. PTO back on. This thing lowered back down. Oh, there's the work phone. Not like stone recovery. We just got off the phone with another customer. Got one more to do after this one. So I'm gonna get this one finished up. Gonna get this thing over there to the service departments so they can start getting it worked on. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If y'all would, subscribe, like, and share. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.